Day 9 TV, in coordination with the ever-so-lovely Team Liquid, do present to you the king of the beta tournament. And if you have been following this tournament at all, you know exactly who's about to play. Yes, you do, you brilliant individual, you. It is Grubby versus Polt in the second semi-final. The winner of this will be cast straight from the March 11th Heart of the Swarm Countdown Party. Spawning down the bottom left, many consider him to be increasingly able to take the role as the #1 foreign Protoss. From Team Grubby, it is Grubby. And down in the bottom right, currently teamless, living in Austin, rocking everyone's faces off, both in beta tournaments and on the beta ladder alike, it is Polt. Both these two players, interestingly, are not on large teams. Polt is just teamless. Grubby defined a new team to be himself, which is very similar to having a business card. This is Sean Plott, CEO of Sean Plott. I'm the Chief Executive Officer. I make all the decisions for myself. Yes, thank you. I'm very busy. I have a secretary called the email that I don't check. Polt, on the other hand, he just bosses it up with that teamless logo. Polt, interestingly, different from many of the other Terrans in the beta, is not continuing to go for the 1-racks early expand solidly. A lot of the players in the Wings of Liberty era kind of relied on that, was their staple bread and butter, but Polt's going, oh, what do you mean I have these new gas units? Can I build all of them? Well, I'll build all of them, so would not be surprised at all to see very fast Widow Mine drops or fast Reaper openings. Protosses, on the other hand, have had to switch it up quite a bit. Protosses have had to go for double Stalker at the outset of the game. We've been seeing very fast Mothership cores. Polt absolutely destroyed Minigun 2-1 in the round of 8 when Minigun was going for some fast Mothership core play. So let's see what Grubby does. Already loving the placement of Grubby. He's been really adamant about walling off these backsides to ensure that he doesn't get blocked in. That early second assimilator is not the sign that it was in Wings of Liberty at all. In Wings of Liberty, this would be like, oh, he's either Squirtle or he's going for some sort of one base all-in, but now it can just generally be a sign that there's a desire to get a fast Mothership core. And per usual, we also see the fast Reaper. I don't like Reaper openings on this map because we have exactly one place we can hop up, which is this ridge right in front of the Protoss base. So technically, popping in right at this backside is going to be the only option, really, for Polt, but Grubby can easily just plant a Stalker there. Mothership core is about to pop out. The Mothership core will likely just float above on top here. Or it's going to go straight on over to Polt's base. Oh, yes, my mouse does drag that far. Excellent! Reaper continuing to poke his way forward, and with the Stalker coming out, that'll pretty much be the end of that, but really looking forward to seeing some cool early expand tactics. Zealot shows up. I actually like this move. It will take a little bit of hull damage, but that Stalker's almost done. We'll be able to absolutely repel this Reaper. And of course, Grubby knows exactly where that Reaper's at. So a few shots go off, nothing too pivotal. This, on the other hand, is quite noteworthy. The Nexus actually not going to be spotted by Polt. And now we see Grubby waltzing right on in. This is one of the hilarious results of being able to go for a fast Mothership core. You can actually just poke right into the main base, see everything that's going on, and if your opponent did go for something like a very fast Reaper, can often lose a Marine or two or an SCV or two to this Mothership core. Mothership core will sustain significant damage, but not before seeing a factory. Expansion Nexus out right now. Very much so, looks like a Widow Mine transition. Reaper not going to be going for the Xel'Naga Watchtowers, which, you know, makes sense. Nothing really notable attack-wise that can come that this bunker can't just kill off himself anyways. But I think Grubby is a little surprised to go, oh, no Xel'Naga Watchtower. And will it be Widow Mine drops? This is actually looking really similar to the way Polt plays Terran versus Zerg. Just assaulting the front with Widow Mines, doing assaults in the drop places with the Widow Mines. Again, this matchup is becoming a lot more Stalker-focused early on. It used to be all about the sentries. Yep. Yes, I'm sure many of you note that the hold position button H is right next to Guardian Shield. That's really painful. Happens pretty frequently. when you're trying to be a 300 APM Gosu Korean player, but, you know, you're from the Netherlands. H button happens to be close to the G button. Drats. But yeah, this matchup is increasingly becoming about the Stalkers in the early game as opposed to the Sentries. It used to be a lot of early Marine Marauder type push timings, but we're seeing increasingly so a lot of Widowmine, a lot of Hellbat, a lot of dropship action. Double Forge out of Grubby. Ooh, I'm sitting forward. You can actually even audibly hear my chair creak as I get excited. Sit on up. Double Forge is something we have actually amazingly not seen that much in the beta games. This is Polt's classic annoying move. Marching right on in. Observer really well planted. Is there an observer over in the main base? Yeah, getting a good sense of everything. It's not going to be the traditional Marine Marauder 10-minute timing. It's going to be a little bit of harassment right before that, and then he'll follow up with a slightly later timing, so something around 11, 12 minutes. Will he boost in? Wow, he does boost right on in. Runs headfirst into all those units and pulls right on back out. There's a double chrono boost. Double chrono boost, really important. Or excuse me, double upgrade, very important. This will allow the Colossus to kill things in one or so less swipes, especially in conjunction with the extra damage from some of those smaller units. And the armor upgrade, really important. If your Terran player has +1 attack, which generally he will, takes 33 shots just to kill off the hull of a Zealot, not even including the shields. So yeah, when you're starting to make it hundreds of shots from the Marine Marauder just to be able to take down the front line, you're in good shape. Delayed robotics facility. Ordinarily you need to get this really early, but these two barracks were delayed due to the very fast Widowmine drops. There's actually not going to be that many Marine Marauder. In fact, if we go to the unit tab, we see it's only 10 Marines. So Grubby should be fine, except these sentries are kind of hanging out at the wrong spot. Those sentries actually need to be at the front. 1-1 will likely be done. They have a little under 20 seconds now with those two chrono boosts. Colossus coming out. This could be a complete skip of the Thermal Lance. It could just be a temporary Colossus to help hold these off, but either way, Grubby just getting into position right on point. 3 force fields get thrown down. Not really essential, but will allow that 1-1 to get finished. And now we're seeing Polt just take himself his third base, looking really nice. Polt stylistically is the sort of guy who really loves to go for heavy Marauder emphasis. The Marine has begun to get quite popular, especially because people are discovering that Micro plus Ghost plus Vikings and a lot of Marines can pretty much tear down any Protoss force with ease, but Polt much so prefers the ability to attack a lot, so these Widow Mines that came out at the start are going to work in conjunction with that really nicely. Now what's going on Grubby's side of things is that he's doing this nice little side step where you build just one Colossus, you let him see it, and you hope that he'll build some Vikings as a response. If he doesn't, obviously the Colossus has a lot more utility, but the real goal is to tech straight up to Storm, and even though this is quite late on the the third base timing, I mean, it won't be till well after 13 minutes that Grubby's really able to safely secure an expansion. But you have 2-2, you have Storm, you have all the essentials, and I mean, the Terran player has not even really begun Viking production, so that's really what Grubby's going for, to have you say, oh, you're Terran, you don't have any Vikings, you don't have any Ghosts, you're probably a little bit low on upgrades, but you have a lot of units. I have everything but the units. And looks like the 2-2's coming along well. Grubby is getting a little high on the chrono boost, actually, which gives me das concerns. The observers continue to check along. What Polt wants to do right now is delay that expansion as long as possible to force those units into vulnerable spots, and then to just crunch in with a lot of Marauders from a wide angle. But look, he's actually trying to do a drop at the backside. This might actually pan out very poorly for Polt. Grubby likes to anticipate these sorts of drop plays and have Templar back home in the main. I mean, will Grubby see it? Is Grubby going to do the warp in at the back? Oh, instantly. And it looks like Templar already there, eagerly awaiting. Instantly down into the red. See you later. 1. Will he even get the second medevac? Oh, Grubby, can he pick that one off? Gosh, Grubby destroyed that. This is one of the advantages to having the entire tech tree done by the 13-minute mark. you can kill everything. Gosh, 3-3 also getting started. This is the key timing for Grubby. He needs to stay alive in this window because then he'll have a third base, he'll have all his upgrades, he needs to begin researching Colossus range, and then he'll push out with the complete Protoss tech tree, but it's this aggression that he has to worry about. He's pulled back. This is a bad angle. This is a huge arc that Polt now has all in his side. Is there no... Oh my god! He skipped charge! There's no Zealot charge. Where's the charge? Oh my god, that seems like such a huge mistake to avoid charge in this situation. Has to throw down the Photon overcharge, but there's just way too many Terran units, and I mean, Grubby is going to absolutely decimate this. Are you serious? No Zealot leg charge. The expansion falls down. Grubby got the bad angle of that exchange. Time bomb gets thrown down. It will slow down that Marine Marauder a little bit, but Polt perfectly target firing the one Archon. Meanwhile, back home, it looks like Polt is not even trying to tech up to Ghosts. Oh, never mind. He's already teched up to Ghosts. More significantly, he already has 8 barracks. Yeesh. It's going to be just flowing out with all the units. I'm still shocked that Grubby has yet to get the Zealot leg speed. I mean, you're obviously pressed for gas when you're going for that fast of 3-3 and that fast of High Templar, but right now, Polt's Marauder count very high. A couple feedbacks could shut down those drops, but the factory's just seen everything, and Polt's going to exploit this really bad angle. Oh no! Oh, the expansion! Okay, Grubby's finally pulling back down again, but in the meantime, a 4th base getting set up by Polt. I mean, Polt has this in complete and total lockdown. The expansion easily getting picked off. Polt just darts right on up. We'll be able to pull off immediately as well. Even has a few units. Ooh! Eats a storm, but in the main base, the story is completely different altogether. A single High Templar has been warped in, but doesn't even have the energy to unleash a storm, and now it's going to be Grubby pulling back, and there finally the Zealot leg charge goes down. Robo facility, oh, losing power on all those gateways. More storms getting thrown down. All the gateways at the north side are unpowered, and Polt just continues to terrorize. Polt, known for his incredibly late 2-2 upgrades, delaying that so much in favor of just more barracks, more units flooding the front. It's brought him incredible success both against Terran, both against Protoss and Zerg, and now it's Marauders with speed. All the medevacs against slow Zealots. The Zealots aren't even able to get into good angles because they're slowed. Polt continues to kite. I mean, in these exchanges, we're seeing that it's still fairly even. But Polt is just gobbling up the whole map. And I mean, in the meantime, these 2 forges that were unpowered, the late 3-3 upgrades, the Immortal's going to have to turn around, will deal significant damage to those Marauders, but 2 of them get picked off immediately. Charging 3-3, there! Finally the 3-3 finishes up. 2-1 upgrades for Polt, and there's the charge. A mine will get to... Well, I was going to say would get to participate in the battle, but nope, no participation allowed. Until this... Nope, still no participation allowed. I mean, Grubby is slowly building a little bit of momentum. Polt is just hoping to batter down the front with this Marauder-heavy force before anything gets off the ground. Gosh, Polt knows how to blast the front, taking more bases, identifying, well, Grubby, you have to stay in defense mode. So rather than try to kill you, try to overrun you, and run headfirst into a bad storm that would kill my momentum or maybe miss micro and medevac drop, Polt says, I'm going to stop the focus on the barracks additions. I'm going to stop on my production. I'm going to just expand while I continue to build out of what I already have. And the instant you start to stabilize, that's when I'm going to ramp up hard with the barracks production. Really smart play. It's a really nice read on Grubby's defensive situation. I mean, perhaps might not be the most difficult read given the fact that Polt has been inside of Grubby's base consistently. Another huge push coming up. The lack of Zealot leg speed in the first few battles proves too much for Grubby to overcome. Polt, with way too many units, will be at 5 bases to Grubby's soon-to-be 2-5. Way too many bases for Terran to have. No amount of storming or good control can hope to get you out of this, and as the storms land mainly on the Protoss units, there's a good game. Polt, in convincing fashion, just as he did against Minigun, takes a win in game number 1, which means that we're going into game number 2 to see if Grubby can deal with the terrifying pressure that's being thrown at him See you then.